Patterns is a concept introduced in pre-K. Initially, I tried to see which routine with few steps could be used to introduce Allie to the concept of patterns. Being familiar with routine allows for the introduction to chronology. However, the introduction to patterns require a different train of thought. Unlike chronology, which is a series of steps, a pattern is a set of short sample repeats. Hi, my name is Mimi Samsoneth, and you're watching One Mom's Perspective on how my daughter was introduced to patterns. My daughter's name is Alice. I call her Allie. She is 5 years old. Allie was born with trisomy 21, also known as Down syndrome. With everything I teach Allie, I begin with a blank page. She was born with Down syndrome and I was not, so we absorb and process information differently. In order to teach Allie, I must first learn how she picks up information. Then I'd figure out how to lay stepping stones for her to build upon that information, to form and process them into thoughts, ideas, concepts, etc.
Don't eat it yet.
Yeah, don't eat it yet. We wait till the end, okay? With patterns, I began literally with a blank page. As I was punching holes, I noticed that these holes can be punched in sets rather than evenly spaced. The visual sets would facilitate the observation that a pattern occurs in sets that is repeated or can be broken into sets. This discovery simplified the approach for teaching Allie patterns and for Allie to more easily learn how to visualize patterns. When introducing Allie to a new concept, much fun and play is often required for her to be motivated or at least interested in following through the lessons. Then, yellow, okay?
Yellow.
Yeah, blue,
Blue.
red,
Red.
then yellow. That's a pattern.
Pattern.
Yeah, let's do the pattern again. Okay? She is quite young and a kid after all. Yeah, we do blue next, yes?
Yeah.
Blue, red, yellow says. Since Allie knew her shapes and enjoyed stickers, she would be able to peel and stick the correct pattern colors around the shape she helped tape to the floor. Then yellow. Okay? Look at that. Red, then
Yellow.
toys or game structures were used to introduce patterns. For example, we don't play the game Connect 4, but I used the game structure to introduce pattern of colors vertically. The pattern is red, blue.
Blue.
I used the toy light brights to introduce pattern of colors horizontally.
Red. Blue.
After Allie completes the pattern, we would decorate into the image of her choice. Allie found that rewarding because lights are one of her sensory motivators. Good doing your patterns. The fun was brought back to learn patterns on paper. This was necessary because schoolwork are typically done on paper, and Allie would need to transfer the learning at home to her school.
Green. Red.
That's right, put it right there. You got it. Doing pattern exercises on boards and in binders add variety, but success in demonstrating that Allie has learned the concept of pattern was when she was able to complete the exercise without help on paper. That's the pattern.
That's a that's gummy pattern.
That's right, the gummy bear pattern. Bug, bug, bear, bug, bug, bear. When Allie stuck, she knew to add rhythm to remind her of the set to complete the pattern.
Bear.
The goal here was an introduction to patterns, not fully comprehending sets necessarily, or more complicated set of patterns. Allie would need additional lessons for consistently comprehending patterns. Until then, Allie has reached the goal. She has been able to complete pattern exercises on paper or elsewhere without help. And to wait and have that treat at the end, of course, is motivation in of it itself. That's right, now you can eat.
Gummy bear.
That's right, last one. Good job. Bell bug bear, bell bug bear, bell bug bear, bell bug bear.
Now can eat.
That's right, now you can eat it. Good job. High five. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. Yum, yum, yum. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for watching.